All right, so you guys wanted a deep dive on this new Christmas movie, Red One.
Ah, yes. It seems like everyone's talking about this one.
Yeah, we're gonna see if it lives up to the hype or not by looking at a review from TLDR Movie Reviews and Analysis, which came out just a few days ago.
November 9th, to be exact.
Right, November 9th.
So pretty recent.
Yeah, so let's jump right in.
Okay, well, the reviewer starts by giving us the basic premise, and I gotta say, on paper, this thing sounds wild.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So apparently Santa Claus, like the actual Santa Claus, is real,
Okay.
and there's this, like, top secret global organization dedicated to protecting him.
Wow.
Oh, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson plays an elf.
Wait, what? He's playing an elf.
An elf.
You'd think with all the Christmas movies out there, Hollywood would have run out of ways to make Santa Claus interesting.
Right,
But this is definitely a new twist.
for sure.
So, how did the reviewer feel about how they brought this whole Santa Claus thing to life?
Well, they were really impressed with the world building, especially the creature designs.
Okay.
They specifically mentioned the snowmen and the portals, even comparing it to Rise of the Guardians in terms of the visuals.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's this scene early on, kind of like when we first see Hogwarts in Harry Potter, where you're just like, whoa, this is a whole new world.
I love those moments in movies when you realize you're stepping into something totally different.
Totally.
Sounds like Red One nails that sense of wonder.
It does.
And speaking of nailing it, the reviewer called out the opening sequence as being super strong.
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell us about that?
Okay, get this. J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus.
No way.
Yes. But like jacked Santa Claus. I can't even picture that. It's apparently amazing. He's got the physique and the jolly demeanor down pat.
Okay, I'm starting to see it now.
And then we meet Chris Evans' character.
Okay.
And he has this incredible scene where he breaks into like a high security government facility and shows off some serious spy skills.
So like a Chris Evans Mission Impossible Christmas mashup?
Basically.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, the reviewer said it was really well done.
Okay, I am sold.
And they specifically mentioned a fight scene in Chris Evans' character's apartment that they said was like something out of the Bourne movies.
Okay, so like fast-paced, gritty, well choreographed.
Exactly. Sounds like they didn't hold back on the action in this one.
I mean, you had me at Jack Santa Claus.
Right.
But so far, it sounds like Red One is checking all the boxes. Visually imaginative, strong opening, great action.
Yeah.
But you did say that the reviewer didn't love it, right?
Yeah, they didn't exactly give it a glowing recommendation.
So where do things start to go wrong?
Oh, their biggest issue was the chemistry, or lack thereof, between the two leads, Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans.
Really?
Yeah, they said it felt like they were in two different movies, which is, not ideal for a buddy cop kind of thing.
That's a bummer, because both those guys are so charismatic on their own.
I know, right?
What did the reviewer think was the issue?
Well, they suggested that Dwayne Johnson might have been miscast.
Oh.
Now, before the Rock fans come for us,
Right, of course.
they said it's not that he's a bad actor or anything. It's more that his usual persona, like the larger-than-life action hero, doesn't really fit with the more whimsical tone of this movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not just about talent. It's about finding the right actor for the tone and style of the film.
Right.
That can make or break a movie, for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so chemistry problems as one strike against Red One.
Yeah.
But what about the story itself? The narrative? Did the reviewer think that held up?
That's where things get really interesting.
Ooh, okay, lay it on me.
So the reviewer said the narrative felt muddled because it was trying to be like a million things at once.
Okay, how so?
Well, you've got your heartwarming Hallmark Christmas movie elements mixed with social commentary about consumerism, then some deep dive into Christmas mythology, and a global conspiracy thriller thrown in for good measure.
Whoa, that's a lot to pack into one movie, especially a Christmas movie.
Right, like they took every Christmas movie script and threw it in a blender.
No wonder the reviewer felt lost.
It's a lot.
So let's break this down a little. Where did they feel like the movie missed opportunities?
Okay, well, they weren't impressed with the villains, even though Kiernan Shipka, Sabrina Spellman herself, was one of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they said they were just kind of boring, which is a shame.
Yeah, especially with Kiernan Shipka involved, you'd think they'd give her something juicy to work with.
Totally. And on top of that, Lucy Liu is in the movie too, but apparently her role is super small, like barely there.
Oh, come on. With a cast like that, you gotta give those talented ladies something to do.
I know. Talk about missed opportunities.
It's like getting a beautifully wrapped present under the tree, all excited to open it, and it's just socks.
Huh. Perfect analogy.
All the right elements are there, but the execution just falls short.
It's the thought that counts, but sometimes you want more than just the thought.
Exactly.
It's a shame because you'd think with so much talent involved, they could have pulled it off.
Right. It makes you wonder if the filmmakers were just trying to cram in too much stuff and lost track of what they were actually trying to say.
Yeah, you see that a lot with holiday movies, trying to be both familiar and fresh, heartwarming and action-packed. It can be tough to find that balance.
Yeah. Like a Christmas fruitcake, too many ingredients.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
But speaking of things not quite working, the reviewer also had some issues with the way certain elements were executed.
Right.
Like they said the action scenes felt messy and the music was uninspired.
Yeah, and the foreshadowing was, well, let's just say it wasn't subtle.
Give me some details.
Okay, so for the action, they said it lacked the finesse you'd expect from a movie with Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans.
Yeah, with those two, you'd expect some top-notch fight choreography.
Exactly. But the reviewer made it sound like the director was more focused on spectacle than on making the action feel believable and exciting.
Okay, so action's a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
And what about the music? You mentioned it was uninspired.
Yeah, the reviewer used the term needle drops, which basically means they just used a bunch of popular songs instead of creating an original score.
Oh, so like they went for the easy way out.
It's like wrapping a present in last year's leftover wrapping paper.
Gets the job done, but it's not very special.
Exactly.
Okay, so music's not great, action's messy. What about the foreshadowing? You said it wasn't subtle?
Oh, it was bad. The reviewer said it was so obvious it felt like Bugs Bunny was going to pop into the frame holding up a sign saying, "This will be important later."
Okay, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, like they didn't trust the audience to follow along without hitting them over the head with it.
Right. It's like they were afraid the plot was too confusing already, so they had to spell everything out.
It's a shame because a little bit of mystery and suspense can go a long way.
Absolutely. And, it's interesting because with a movie like Red One, with the premise as crazy as it is, and with stars like Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans, audiences are going to come in with pretty high expectations.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're expecting something clever, polished, and original.
Definitely.
And when those expectations aren't met, it can be a real letdown, even if the movie has some good things going for it.
It's like going to your favorite restaurant and ordering your usual dish, but they changed the recipe and not for the better.
You're still getting food, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, and that seems to be the case with Red One. It's not a terrible movie, but it's not the great movie it could have been, and that's what makes this review so interesting.
Right. It's a good reminder that even with the best intentions, a movie can still fall short.
Definitely.
There are so many moving parts, the script, the direction, the performances, and if they don't all come together just right, it can really affect the whole experience.
Absolutely.
And in the case of Red One, it sounds like the biggest missed opportunity was that buddy cop dynamic between Johnson and Evans.
Yeah, the reviewer actually said that if they had focused more on that aspect and really let those two actors play off of each other, the movie could have been much better.
It makes you wonder if there was something going on behind the scenes, maybe some creative differences or tension that led to that lack of chemistry on screen.
Yeah, sometimes those things can really affect the performances.
But putting all that aside, the reviewer does offer an alternative for anyone looking for a good holiday movie.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
They recommend A Sunburnt Christmas.
I haven't seen that one.
Me neither, but the reviewer described it as this heartwarming and funny Australian Christmas comedy, something that really captures the spirit of the holidays without all the bells and whistles.
Sounds charming.
Yeah, maybe it's a good reminder that sometimes a simple, relatable story is all you need.
That's true, especially during the holidays.
And that brings us to a question for you, our listeners.
Ooh, I like this.
Do you prefer your holiday movies big and fantastical, full of action and spectacle, or do you prefer something more grounded and intimate?
Yeah, what are some of your favorite holiday films and why do they resonate with you?
We'd love to hear from you. You can share your picks with us on social media handle.
Yeah, definitely.
But before you do that, let's bring it back to Red One and that idea of reimagining the film.
Right, because the reviewer felt it was trying to do too much.
Exactly. So
Uh-huh.
if you were in the director's chair, what would you focus on to make Red One a stronger movie?
Yeah, it's like they had this awesome concept, but then didn't know what to do with it.
Right. And, it's a classic Christmas movie dilemma. How do you make something that feels fresh and new, but also familiar and heartwarming?
Yeah, like you can't completely reinvent the gingerbread cookie, right?
Exactly. It still has to taste like a gingerbread cookie.
And I think that's kind of where Red One goes wrong.
Hmm.
The reviewer loved those Rise of the Guardians vibes, the world building and the creatures.
Yeah.
But they felt like those elements got lost in the shuffle because the story itself was all over the place.
It's like having all these gourmet ingredients, but then just throwing them all in a pot and hoping for the best.
Exactly. Sometimes less is more.
Right. And it all comes back to that question, if you were the director, what would you focus on?
Yeah, how would you make this movie really work?
Would you lean into the action? Make it a full-blown buddy cop movie with those crazy Bourne Identity style fight scenes.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Right. Or maybe you'd go deeper into the Santa Claus mythology.
Yeah, explore the origins of that secret organization.
Unpack all those traditions and beliefs.
Ooh, I like that.
Or maybe you'd strip it all back and tell a simpler story.
Yeah, something more personal and heartwarming.
Focused on family and the true meaning of Christmas.
Sometimes the most powerful stories are the simplest ones.
Exactly. It's all about finding the right balance, the right mix of heart, humor, and holiday magic.
And maybe Red One didn't quite get there. But hey, at least they tried something different.
Right. Got to give them credit for that.
And who knows, maybe this will inspire other filmmakers to take some risks and try something new.
Yeah. Push the boundaries of the Christmas movie genre.
That's what's so great about art. It makes you think and challenges your expectations.
Absolutely. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into Red One.
Wow, that went by fast.
I know, right? We've covered a lot of ground, from the initial premise to the reviewer's critiques to our own reimagining of the film.
We really went deep.
We did. And hopefully this has inspired you to think a little differently about the movies you watch and the stories they're trying to tell.
And to appreciate all the work that goes into making a movie, even if it doesn't always turn out perfectly.
Exactly. So if you're curious, go check out Red One for yourself. See what you think.
Yeah, form your own opinion.
And then come tell us all about it. On social media handle, we love hearing from you guys.
Definitely.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.